Such a good bit. I love that bit. The looping DVD menu. It's such a pop reference for all of us now, you know?
We lost a viewer during it, but yeah, go ahead.
Paul, is this the Baldwin Bash?
No, Adam.
Is it the Affleck?
Oh, hang on a second.
Oh, I gotta start recording.
I was trying to do a clean start, and we're not recording on QuickTime. Let's see. Adam recording QuickTime. I'll record on QuickTime.
This is the show,
David,
everyone, where we test all the equipment and new audio recording. There we go. Idiot. Hey, I'm recording, Paul. Are you?
Same. Let's do this show as if
anyway,
it's
as I was saying,
this
is the show we proofread the script in real time for you people. Okay. Paul, is this the Baldwin Bash?
No, Adam.
Is it the Affleck after party?
No, Adam, it is certainly not.
Is it the Krasinski Carnival?
No, Adam, it's not the Krasinski Carnival.
Ah, that's right. On this show, we only talk about Jack Ryan as played by the mighty Harrison Ford.
Yes, and Adam, you didn't mention that Chris Pine also played Jack Ryan.
And who would?
It's the Ford Fiesta.
1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the Ford Fiesta. I'm Paul Patrick Preston.
And I'm Adam Noise Witt.
Noise!
This is the show where we find out that Jack Ryan's middle name is Patrick. Who knew? But that was noise.
Gonna be a lot more of that.
Yes, there is. As today's film on the Ford Fiesta is Philip Noyce's adaptation of the Tom Clancy novel Patriot Games. Our guest this week, who will join us later in the show, is also pretty noise. A previous guest of the movie guys, going way back to a couple of appearances on the old movie showcast. These days, he's got a flourishing YouTube channel, The Outlaw Nation. John Roca will be with us.
Noise!
Now, but first to the segment that we thought would just kill time on our show as we talk about old movies, but turns out it's become one of the most densely packed segments we do because Harrison Ford is busy as hell. But let's talk what's new in the world of Harrison Ford. Just a couple things to throw at you here, Adam. After viewing The Dial of Destiny, we watched the movie. Steven Spielberg said, when the lights came up, I just turned to the group and said, damn, I thought I was the only one who knew how to make one of these.
Ooh, now that is a compliment. Wow.
Well, the thing I remember hearing about Crystal Skull beforehand was he brought out Karen Allen at Comic-Con, I believe, in a video stream live to the fans there. And he was like, we're doing this one for the fans. And I went, ugh.
Never a good sign.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever a good sign. Make the movie you want.
This one for the fans. Oh, great.
Yeah. Clearly, I think Mangold must be making the movie that he wants to make, and then Spielberg went, "Hey, you can do it too." I thought I was the only one.
You know what's so great about Mangold? You know, in the Mangold.
Noise.
What's so great about him is that when you watch the Wolverine or Logan, but particularly the Wolverine, because that is my very favorite Wolverine story brought to screen, it's like he just gets what is exciting about these things. And he's like a Star Wars kid. He's a Raiders kid. Like he's going to focus on like what, you know, because when you see like the Force Awakens remade, and a lot of people are like, oh, they put a chip in a robot. That's exactly like Star Wars. And it's like, oh, okay, guys. But, you know, but there's a lot of other great echoes that clearly J.J. Abrams loved about that George Lucas didn't care as much about, that didn't put in his other movies, you know? And so I'm just like, what is he going to focus on? What does he love about Indiana Jones? Because you know it's good, whatever he loves about it. You know, he's so good at loving this stuff. Yeah.
And I didn't put this in the news, but it is worth mentioning that I believe at Star Wars Celebration, James Mangold was announced as a director of a future Star Wars movie. You know, everybody has been at this point. We had the Game of Thrones guys, Patty Jenkins, Adam, right?
It's my turn.
Yeah, and they've come and gone, but it looks like apparently the Daniels now and Mangold are the newest names to be batted around. But just as long as they make features, then I'm a fan. It's been my favorite part of Star Wars since 1977. So let's get a movie. And if Mangold's making it, I'm in. I'm 100% in.
Well, you know, I mean, he was making, I'm very curious what happened to Mangold's Boba Fett movie, because when they made The Mandalorian, I said, oh, Mangold's Boba Fett fell apart. And they were just like, look, let's just rename it. Let's not try and stick it in continuity. Let's not do Boba Fett stuff. Let's just do a separate story. And that's what became The Mandalorian, which is why it was so surprising when Boba Fett showed up in that show. I was like, I thought this was the show you were doing because you aren't going to do a Boba Fett show. That was amazing.
Do Boba Fett stuff sounds dirty. Like almost like butt stuff. Let's do Boba Fett stuff. CinemaCon happened in Las Vegas, and a huge clip of Dial of Destiny was played, including a tape message from Ford. Ooh. He said, "Hello, CinemaCon. Playing Indiana Jones all these years has meant the world to me. The movies have adventure and heart, and for some reason, snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?" So, yeah, he did comedy and chimed in there. So, you know, the positivity push continues, you know, for this movie. You know, they're not abandoning it, and that all the guns are out, talking about how good it is. So,
yeah, and then he sang a little number, I believe.
I can't stand it. I know you planned it. I'm going to set it straight. This Watergate, I can't stand rocking when I'm in here, because your crystal ball ain't so crystal clear. So while you sit back and wonder why I got this fucking thorn in my side, oh my God, it's a mirage, I'm telling y'all. It's sabotage.
Oh, you know, and all this comes from I'll cut that part out. And all this comes from and all this comes from a guy that was done playing Han Solo, and we assumed Indiana Jones, and like, you know, he
and Rick Deckard.
Yeah, Rick Deckard. He was so vocal about putting all that behind him. And obviously we've just gone through Harrison Ford Phase 3, and you watch the manifestation of that desire is playing not only characters that aren't Indiana Jones and Han Solo, but like characters that aren't like any character, you know, Mosquito Coast and Frantic. And, you know, it's like, these are just crazy original movies that he just really wanted to abandon all that. So happy he's come back to all of it. It's so surprising. It was just never going to happen. Indeed.
Yeah. Now, if you
but am I right?
News, Paul? Again, this usually.
But Paul, I sometimes will go on about how the fact that as a Star Wars fan, we didn't have Star Wars movies for 15 years or whatever it was, and you just right. got used to, or 10 years, and you're like, it's just never going to happen, and I gave up on it. And so when they come back, I'm like, oh my God, this was never going to happen. I mean, I feel the same way with Harrison Ford. It was just never going to happen. None of this, none of these returns were ever going to happen. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be the farewell tour as he puts all these characters to bed, you know, but not the farewell tour of his career, as we've mentioned. If he's playing Thunderbolt Ross, he ain't slowing down. So,
oh, that's right. I keep forgetting more news. There's going to be more Ford news, Paul.
Yeah,
you're going to do Marvel Ford news coming up. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I mean, wow, just to get him in a franchise like that, you know, he's normally launching a franchise. He doesn't often come into one. So that's super exciting.
Well, except for the Patriot Games, I guess, you know.
True. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. He took it over, you know.
But that is what's fun, because he's Mr. Summer to us. And then, you know, he went and did all these other movies that come out at different times of the year. They're not summer movies. And then having Patriot Games, you know, he's dropped into a franchise, and yeah, it's just so cool. We'll talk about it later on the show, folks.
Let's get actually to it. But first, of course, there is one more segment we always have to touch on. And that, of course, is This. Date. In. For.
Ford.
History.
History.
What happened here in mid-May? Now, when this airs, I don't know. But in mid-May, when we're recording this, the
When it's
following
listened
things
to, we don't know either. So I'm not changing any of this because of our delay.
yeah, right. There's mid-May happenings in the world of Harrison Ford. May 13th, 1970,
Okay.
Getting Straight is released.
Oh,
So this is just a little after I was born.
little
Sorry to
baby
throw my
Harrison
age
Ford.
out
He's such
there,
a
but
baby in that movie.
he is. Yeah, with the hippie haircut and
Yeah, I don't think we have
70s sideburns.
Oh, gosh.
But
I love
and
him in
anyone
that
who went
movie.
to see that probably didn't think, well, there's the next big star of motion
No.
picture history.
No, I don't think so.
But there he was
History,
anyway.
history.
And yeah, they're watching Elliot Gould, who at the time was
Yeah.
a big deal, you know?
Big deal. He was the
Yeah.
Harrison Ford of his time. No, that's not true.
That is not true.
John
He was the
Wayne
Elliot
was the
Gould
Harrison
of his
Ford of his time.
Yeah.
He was only
speaking
the Elliot Gould of all the times he's been in.
Well, speaking of John Wayne, May 17th, 1968 and May 18th, 1979, 11 years apart. But I mentioned John Wayne because in 68, Journey to Shiloh is released. And in
Yeah,
79, I
Western.
say Hanover Street is released. And I mentioned both of those movies together because they're probably ones you don't know so much about. You've watched Star Wars, you've watched Blade Runner, you've watched Indiana Jones, you've watched Jack Ryan. But have you watched Journey to Shiloh? Have you watched Hanover Street? We recommend that you do. And of course, you go back and check out our old episodes of the Ford Fiesta about each of those movies to get you psyched, or even after you watch it, we'll help you break it down and what the hell that was that you just saw. Products of their time, perhaps. And entertaining if you're just watching Harrison Ford, for sure.
Yeah, well, and obviously, go watch the Journey to Shiloh for the song, the Seven Boys from Texas, which was just so incredibly shocking when we watched that song is so great and weird and goofy and awesome, and introduces every character with a Yellow Rose of Texas riff, and we were not prepared for that when we started watching it. It's like it just begins with all of them. There, Seven boys from Texas.
Boys from Texas went off to fight the war. And 6 years later, Mel Brooks was spoofing that and everything that came before it, like that in Blazing Saddles.
God, yeah.
With the songs and westerns were just always goofy, and they were still doing it in the late '60s. And of course, that's James Caan. So if you want to watch the Caan Carnival, they'll cover that movie also.
Well, that's the great thing also about Phase 1, Harrison Ford Phase 1, as we enter Harrison Ford Phase 4 here, Phase Ford. But
Yes.
Phase 1, you'd watch it, of course, because Harrison Ford's going to show up somewhere in it. And sometimes he's throughout, sometimes he's only at the beginning, like in A Time for Killing. You're like, oh, that's it. Now we're going to watch the rest of this stupid movie. But but a lot of times, especially on this one, you'd be like, hey, I'm watching for Harrison Ford, but free James Caan. And you do get good James Caan in that movie. It's good free James Caan. Like he's
ample James Caan.
And he really is like kind of like a Harrison Ford mode. You could see him playing that later of like when his brother gets killed and he's like goes to the bar and he demands that they pay for his funeral and kicks their table over while they're gambling. You're like, man, this guy don't take any crap. It's great.
Yeah. So there you go. 2 recommendations from the Ford catalog released mid-May in 68. But, he's already May guy. And then later, of course, with the blockbusters, that's when, he really started putting out the May movies.
Yeah.
All right. Enough nonsense. It's time for completely different nonsense. It's time to talk about Harrison Ford's 28th entry in the annals of cinema history with the patented Movie Guys recap of Patriot Games. Music.
Dan it. I always forget to keep dropping in a video of that intro music. Dan it. But our audience can pretend. I'm sure they know what the song sounds like. Having unsuccessfully delivered a telegram to James Coburn and successfully punched Jack Lemmon in Harrison Ford.
Phase 1.
We have to do that separately, folks, because there's no being in sync, and we just
you'll have to edit it again. And carved his face on Hollywood's Mount Rushmore with multiple portrayals of pulp heroes, Han Solo and Indiana Jones, in Harrison Ford, Phase 2.
Then, for his next trick, Ford made everyone forget about those roles like they were the alphabet, and his fans were, Then for his next...
Good line, but it's
good joke. It's a good line, yeah. Then for his next trick, Then for his next trick, Ford made everyone forget about those roles like they were the alphabet and his fans were Henry Turner from Regarding Henry.
As he spent a decade playing everybody else. A lawyer, a businessman, a doctor, a business lawyer, a business doctor, I think even a doctor lawyer.
And at the same time played all of the dads. There's surrogate Amish dad, maybe a murderer dad, cult leader dad, and even a dad so forgetful he forgot he was a dad. In Harrison Ford,
Phase 3.
Phase 3.
But Harrison Ford returns to form with a summer movie franchise based on a best-selling novel by author and dad den wallpaper designer Tom Clancy in Patriot Games. Like a classic Ford movie, Patriot Games is already a summer sequel. Why, back in Harrison Ford's day, he had to get sequels made the old-fashioned way, by minting an iconic movie character in a global box office and pop culture phenomenon. Twice!
Give me that again, but just a little delay before that twice, because I just think that's so impressive.
Okay. By minting an iconic movie character in a global box office and pop culture phenomenon. Twice!
In Patriot Games, Ford plays Jack Ryan. That's right. No more Rusty or Hank. It's back to basics. 8 letters, 3 syllables, Jack Ryan. That name is definitely here to save the day a little more than Rusty's a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
And with those twerpy monikers, so exits the dorky hair. Yes, Harrison Ford was so method that even his hair got into the act, with each new must-do indicating how not Indiana Jones he was. Harrison Ford's hair in Phase 3 was like a thermometer that measures man-children. Back is the classic Ford haircut, a hard part that can withstand the concussive force of an explosion he's running away from. Can bounce back after your second fist fight of the day and still look good for a romantic evening on a boat going 85 miles an hour towards a rocky shoal.
Well, if he's in a summer movie with a cool name and a classic haircut, and he's here to save the world with punching, pointing, and shouting with righteous anger, then clearly we must have arrived at Harrison Ford, Phase Ford.
Phase Ford. Do I give that one a run again? Because you paused a little bit there. The punching thing.
Okay. What'd I do wrong?
You paused like you didn't know that. So I just your rhythm got thrown off.
Well, if he's in a summer movie with a cool name and a classic haircut, and he's here to save the world with punching, pointing, and shouting with righteous anger, then clearly we must have arrived at Harrison Ford, Phase Ford.
Phase Ford.
In Patriot Games, wow, even the titles are back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Refreshing after a grab bag of vaguely intriguing nouns and verbs.
And the pile of sweaty Oscar pleading that is Regarding Henry. I didn't know they piled pretension that high.
But what makes this a true Phase 4 movie is Harrison Ford entering the exciting, action-ready world of terrorism and espionage, and giving him a job 100 times more CIA than being a farmer. The CIA!
Jack Ryan now teaches history at the United States Naval Academy. Hey, he's a teacher again, but he's a retired teacher giving a special lecture in London.
Web spiders catch and wind their strands around their victims and mummify them before they have them for dinner. Some even devour their own. But spider's not a bad fellow. In fact, in many ways, he's a truly extraordinary creature.
Spider's not a bad fella.
Spider's not a bad fella. I think we need to just pull that drop. I don't know why. I love that line. Ryan attends the event with his wife, Kathy, played by 80s movie icon Ann Archer, and their young daughter, Sally, played by 90s movie icon Thora Birch. They exit alongside the Queen's cousin, Lord William Holmes, the British Minister of State for Northern Ireland, when an assassination attempt breaks out.
Seeing his family in danger, any ordinary man would be unable to warn them from. I'm sorry. Seeing his family in danger.
I think the daughter is Kathy, and the wife is Sally. Do I have that right in the line before that?
That's right. Yeah, Kathy is the wife. Catherine.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
Seeing his family in danger, any ordinary man would be unable to warn them from very far away and indicate to those faraway people that he is indeed talking to them. But Harrison Ford is no ordinary man, and his point and shout is no ordinary gesture, but a gift willed to him by the gods. I don't know where that clip is.
Go! Down! Get down! Ready! Get down!
I know I say this.
on the list.
Look, I know I say this every other episode, but is this Harrison Ford's greatest point and shout of all time?
Yeah, can you hold that thought for 3 minutes?
Sure.
Phase 3 Harrison Ford makes sure his family is safe before Phase 2 Harrison Ford can be held back no more at the bad guys planting a bomb on Lord Holmes' car. He gives us a classic Harrison Ford running tackle.
Ah, who's doing them?
Sorry, well, I thought I didn't know where they were.
Okay.
Oh, get out! Open the fucking door! Finish! Open it or I'll blow it up!
Disarming one terrorist and fatally shooting 2 others, including the assassin Sean Miller's younger brother, both of whom belong to a radical IRA splinter cell led by Kevin O'Donnell, played by Patrick Bergen, the working man's Robin Hood. Now, for those of you who enjoy when Ford adds a notable character actor co-star, Sean Miller is played by Sean Bean, who stares icy murder at the man who killed his brother, Jack Ryan, who is shot and passing out as he's attended to by his physician wife.
Jack Ryan wakes in the hospital, Jack Ryan wakes in the hospital, a very human hero, badly hurt and unable to remember any details from the traumatic event. Luckily, he still knows the alphabet, because after regarding Henry, I legitimately worried for a second that Jack Ryan would have to learn the alphabet and then his name and then move on to solving terrorism in London.
The IRA is upset at O'Donnell's public attempt to execute a royal, which makes them look like violent killers to the public, so they send assassins to kill O'Donnell, which no good publicist would suggest as a solution to that image problem. Meanwhile, we have a groundbreaking moment in the Ford Fiesta as for Jack Ryan's... Okay. Meanwhile, we have a groundbreaking moment in the Ford Fiesta, Adam. As for Jack Ryan's bravery, he's awarded a Knight Commander of the Victorian Order. Harrison Ford just got knighted from Major to General to Knight.
Major, move!
Wow. Awesome moment. Awesome moment. So happy to be here for this. Sean Miller is tried and
And in
convicted.
92 when it happened.
Yeah. He's Sir Harrison Ford for the rest of this show, that's for sure. Sean Miller is tried and convicted, threatening Jack Ryan and promising revenge as he comes face to face with the righteous anger of Sir Harrison Ford, which this movie is basically a showcase for because Jack Ryan is the anti-Deanna Jones. He's not going back. He's out of the life. He made a promise to his wife, put the fists away, and now he's only armed with seething. For now.
Sean Miller's police convoy escort to prison is ambushed by O'Donnell and his sinister agents. They free Miller, and for funsies, O'Donnell lets Miller kill all of them. He seems to enjoy it after being incarcerated and unable to take a life for 36 hours.
O'Donnell and his crew flee to North Africa to plan the next attempt on Lord Holmes, while O'Donnell's lover, Annette, and several others travel to the U.S. to assassinate Jack Ryan. Soon after Ryan's been informed that Sean Miller has escaped, he spots a nervous kid with a bulge in his pants, and it's not because he's happy to see the star of Witness.
No clue escapes the keen eye of master analyst
The
Jack
world's
Ryan.
first analrapist.
He catches every detail. The assassin in a reflection and his accomplice, a redhead in a Jeep. Ryan eludes the assassin and surprises him with a Harrison Ford special that pointedly fails to connect. The front gate of the Naval Academy is a terrible place to try and get away with gun stuff as the assassin is taken out by 2 armed guards. But it's at this moment that Ryan realizes it could be a coordinated attack But it's at this moment that Ryan realizes it could be a coordinated attack on his family and tries desperately to get to them.
Meanwhile, on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, Sean Miller is fulfilling his side of a coordinated attack on his family. Wow, nothing gets by Jack Ryan. Let me try that again. Meanwhile, on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, Sean Miller is fulfilling his side of a coordinated attack on Jack Ryan's family. Wow, nothing gets by Ryan.
Yeah.
Miller pulls up in a van on the highway and unloads a machine gun at the wife's car. Her life is only spared because nobody knows how to merge in D.C. But the chaos causes the car to crash into a highway divider while Jack Ryan helplessly watches the smoke billow from the accident in the distance, helplessly stuck in D.C. traffic more than usual.
Kathy and Sally are seriously injured and taken to the hospital,
Oh, no.
where they don't have to learn the alphabet all over again.
I'm sorry. I'm so gun shy.
Well, the daughter does lose her spleen.
I'd trade that in for not having to take third grade again.
Now, in Patriot Games, Sir Harrison Ford reteams with James Earl Jones, who plays Vice Admiral James Greer, Ryan's former CIA superior. He asks Ryan to rejoin the agency to help capture the terrorists. Ryan turns him down because he promised his wife he'd stay out. But in the next scene, Sally tells Jack to get him. And with that, we have ourselves a Harrison Ford movie.
Yeah. He goes on the offensive, meeting with Sinn Féin leader Paddy O'Neill. The leader is named by whoever has the most Irish name. O'Neill is played by the great Richard Harris. Nice to see these two legends in the same scene. Amazing. And what a scene it is. But O'Neill won't divulge the location of Miller or O'Donnell. He denies IRA involvement and refuses to betray any fellow Irishman. He might have picked the wrong day to F with Jack Ryan. Just because Ford isn't throwing punches doesn't mean he ain't throwing heat.
I don't give a shit whether you did it or not, and neither will anyone else. But I will put such a stranglehold on your gun money, you'll be out in the street throwing rocks. I will fucking destroy you. I will make it my mission in life.
Excuse me.
Woof.
Top 10 Harrison Ford moment right there, man.
Absolutely. So Jack
Wow.
Ryan returns to the CIA and does what he does best. He analyzes, putting together many threads of seemingly innocuous information like a techno Sherlock Holmes, and being the best of the best at our insistence, figures out which camp the terrorists are in.
What you did was you take the staff to a special room in Tanis, a map room with a miniature of the city all laid out on the floor. And if you put the staff in a certain place at a certain time of day, the sun shone through here and made a beam that came down on the floor here and gave you the exact location of the Well of the Souls.
Okay, that's a different scene of Harrison Ford
Yeah.
explaining something to bureaucrats, but it's the cadence we love from that exposition scene applied in a whole new way in Patriot Games, which basically has him describing the staff of Roz 6 times to 5 people. He analyzes the satellite imagery alongside character actor extraordinaire Ted Raimi, friend of the show,
Yeah.
in a kind of grown-up real-world version of Rick Deckard's analysis of the photo from Blade Runner, even at the end of the scene saying... The movie is littered with dozens of obvious and less obvious echoes of Ford's past movies, which for us deep fans makes Patriot Games play like the best of Harrison Ford.
The analysis triggers flashbacks, and the fuzzy memories gain detail as Ryan remembers a female red-haired driver at the attempts on his life. Let's see. The analysis triggers flashbacks, and the fuzzy memories gain detail as Ryan remembers a female red-haired driver at the attempts on the life of both Lord Holmes and his own. Raimi spots a suspect who had recently slipped surveillance in the satellite photos, making it a pretty good bet that Miller and O'Donnell are at a terrorist training camp in Libya. Ryan deduces that if you find the red-haired accomplice, you'll find Sean Miller.
Thora Birch finally wakes from her injuries with her father at her bedside, knowing her ABCs, and the hero father is able to read a story to his daughter.
Mother. 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 Mother?
Mother, you did it!
Are you my mother?
What a great show. Huh?
While Ryan relaxes in the hospital break room, Richard Harris enters and leaves Ryan a wrapped present and silently walks away. Inside is the evidence on the red-haired assassin, which Ryan tries to present to his boss, who's in total 80s dickhead police chief mode. He's had it with Callahan, McClane, Foley, and Ryan. He's had it up to here with the guy who famously saved the day because he's right all the time. Oh. We have no audio on that clip. I'll put that in later. Oh, or did my audio go crazy? Did you hear that audio? Oh, you're muted. Okay, that's what's making me all crazy.
How did I mute myself?
Was there audio? Hey, there you are. Okay,
Yeah,
there's
no
no
audio
audio.
on the,
We'll put that in later. All right.
No. Yeah. Anyway, it's great. I didn't say I was looking for a girl.
It's going great.
It's going great. And this is the rough cut, folks. Greer trusts Ryan implicitly. All Ryan has to say is, that's the spot, and Navy SEALs will raid it at midnight and kill everyone in it. And that's the problem. The reality of being a CIA analyst is you kill with the word yes. Notably, when he finally pulls the trigger, he never verbally says yes, but rather the preponderance of evidence makes the call for him, and he merely nods without making eye contact.
It's me, Jack. Tell me one thing in life that is absolutely for certain.
My daughter's love.
What I need to hear from you is your best guess, and I think I've heard it. Haven't I?
The Special Air Service raid the camp, killing everyone. In a bit of cinema subversion in a movie that's got that all day, our hero watches the action. All right, let me start that over. The Special Air Service raid the camp, killing everyone. In a bit of cinema subversion in a movie that's got that all day, our hero watches the action heroes on monitors in silence. We never see the soldiers outside of Ryan's point of view, which is a night vision satellite shot of the cold murder made even colder. It calls upon one of Ford's most underrated talents, and that is reacting. This is peak reacting, finally honed after his masterful use of it in Phase 3. But Miller, O'Donnell, and their cohorts have already fled to North America to coincide with Lord Holmes' visit there.
Lord Holmes arrives at the Ryan residence to present Ryan with the Lord Holmes arrives at Lord Holmes arrives at the Ryan residence to present Ryan with the KCVO medal, bringing everyone Sean Miller would like to kill into one place on a stormy night. Everything's adorable with coffee and cakes being served and Ryan's daughter being a sweetheart.
What could possibly go right? And the power goes out. Charming jokes about not paying the utility bill are coupled with positive IDs of those killed at the terrorist camp taking 48 hours to process. See, never go through the government if you want something done quickly. I mean, I got to tell you, in order to start this tour company I launched, the one where we go to famous movie locations from around Los Angeles where the films were made, much of the paperwork had to go through the state regarding the Public Utilities Commission and the proper permits from the Department of Transportation. That stuff goes through Sacramento. It just takes forever. But that's a story for another time, unless I've told it in its entirety already. But the point is, to make a long story short, never go through the government if you want something done quickly.
You left one thing out. The power's out, but it can't be a power outage because Master Analyst Jack Ryan notices that the boathouse lights are still on. Meaning that someone cut the power to the house. Also, the radios aren't working.
Phones are out too.
On brand with Sam Jackson. And all of the bodyguards are dead. It seems that, much like the way this film began, regular guy Harrison Ford will have to snap into action to ensure things get accomplished.
Okay, he doesn't go full Indiana Jones on a truck full of Nazis, But he does go Jack Bauer on Lord Holmes' assistant, Watkins, who has been leaking information to Miller and his splinter cell all along.
I'm the spy.
Watkins spills that there may be more than 6 people on Ryan's property, ready to end this party and the lives of those attending it. And if you want to know which Harrison Ford this movie... And if you want to know which Harrison Ford this movie has turned Jack Ryan into, he gets this information out of him by throwing him down a flight of stairs and shooting him in the leg.
Enough safe and sane. It's time for dumb and dangerous.
Sure enough, O'Donnell, Miller, and their team have killed all the party's security team and are entering the house. Ryan gets ready to defend his house and enlists Sam Jackson to help.
Come on, let's get into character.
Even Catherine is ready to whoop an ass as she finds Jack's shotgun, and with all the pent-up anger she's stored since Fatal Attraction, Ann Archer's ready to drop a bitch, if necessary.
Eventually, Ryan and Jackson make quick work of dispatching the terrorists and escape the house, frantic style, from the roof. Making more correct hero choices, Ryan then lures Miller to come after him on a boat, leaving Lord Holmes and his family safe on the shore.
Nice.
O'Donnell, Miller, and Annette pursue in a deluge of the shit kind of East Coast weather I left behind when I moved to L.A.
O'Donnell realizes Ryan's alone in the boat and tries to convince Sean to return to the mission of kidnapping Lord Holmes. But Miller is obsessed with revenge against Ryan and continues to pursue him, But Miller is obsessed with revenge against Ryan and continues to pursue him, even dispatching O'Donnell and Annette in the process.
I'll go nuts! I'll go nuts, baby!
Then finally, the big mano-a-mano between Sean Miller and Jack Ryan.
Two men injured! One man leads! Two men injured! One man leads! Two men injured! One man leads!
Punches are thrown, bodies are thrown, and anchors are deposited in Sean Miller's back.
So, Miller's dead?
Well, you never can be too sure, so his boat also crashes into some jutting rocks and explodes.
That'll do it. So, amongst Sir Harrison Ford's many iconic moments in cinema history, he also got to kill Sean Bean?
Ryan is rescued from the water by an FBI team and reunited with his family in his now seriously devalued Oceanside home.
In the final scene, domestic life has returned for the Ryans as the family has breakfast and Catherine is talking to Dr. Zalian. Fun fact, he's named after the writer Steve Zalian, who did an uncredited polish on the ship, and not named after Dr. Zayas, as I almost read when I read the script in real time. Catherine's about to find out the sex of the baby that's on its way.
Did you say polish on the ship? That's what I heard.
I think I did.
Okay.
In the final scene, coming up next, in the final scene, domestic life has returned for the Ryans as the family has breakfast and Catherine is talking to Dr. Zalian. Fun fact, he's named after writer Steven Zalian, who did an uncredited polish on the script. Catherine's about to find out the sex of their baby that's on its way.
After making a regarding Henry puppy dog face awaiting the answer, Catherine says the baby's going to be a... And that's Patriot Games, everybody. Patriot Games. Hallelujah.
Might I also say the puppy dog face, since we mentioned it earlier, is also from Getting Straight. That's a straight puppy dog face role as well.
Totally. Yeah, totally. You make the hair a little shaggier. It's the same deal.
I'm going to do one pickup line because I said Catherine's about to find out wrong. So don't stop recording. Catherine is about to find out the sex of the baby that's on its way. I added an ellipse there in the first thing, but your next line did not demand an ellipse.
Whoever edited this, keep the Zayas line in too. That's funny. And William Harold liked it too. So
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas.
Dr. Zayas.
Yeah, I almost said Zayas when I read that. I'm like, Dr. Zayas? Dr. Zalian. Dr. Zalian, the writer of Searching for Bobby Fischer and director, I believe.
Schindler's List. Yeah.
And Schindler's List, of course.
I mean, he's no slouch. Awakening?
No slouch.
Maybe.
Could be, but I worked in a video store that was, there were 2 video stores in Oxford, Ohio. Actually, I have a story later because I'm going to go see Slithis tomorrow night. I have a whole Slithis story if you'd like to hear it.
At the Beverly again?
Yeah. Oh, it's the greatest double feature of all time, my friend. It is Slithis and Rodan.
Oh, nice.
But we had I could only play PG movies in my video store. I was manager of one video store, and the other end of the block was the Hollis brothers, who I just saw in Chicago, and they were the manager of their video store, and we, that was our that's how you found out people were into movies as much as each other. Is you managed a video store, and the people came in all the time. You're like, all right, I could talk Sidney Lumet with this guy. I could talk whatever with this guy. But where's it going with that?
I don't know. Slithus?
Oh, no. Bobby Fischer. We could only play PG movies. They could play whatever over at Late Night Video. So that when I would happen on a movie, I was like, oh, this is PG and I like it. I mean, I like plenty of PG movies, but I don't want to like play Star Wars all the time. Like that's a movie I'm not just going to put that on the video store, So I watched Searching for Bobby Fischer like 50 times. I just like put that on. It's a great movie and it's PG. So
yeah, 93. I was working Silver Screen Video and kind of ran the place. Didn't own it, but I ran it when I was.
It's a video store?
Yep. And
our next video store guy. We never talked about.
Oh that. Yeah, hell yeah. Well, I've worked at Blockbuster for 2 weeks. I got in trouble for talking to my friends. They weren't my friends. They were customers, but I just talked to them about movies. Also, I wanted to roll my sleeves up, and they wouldn't let you do that. But Silver Screen, place my buddy owned. Yeah, I worked there and talked to people all the time. And our next film is The Fugitive. That's the one I played ad nauseum in there. We can do PG-13, which I think that was.
Yeah.
And I played that one a ton. And I'm still excited to watch it this week before we talk about it next week.
I mean, this is a pretty exciting moment, Paul, because I mean, The Fugitive is when, it's like now at that point we'd been with Harrison Ford for our lifetime, like I've made friends I was just talking to Fred Mowry. I was just, I made friends through Harrison. Well, obviously I made friends through Harrison Ford, and man, with The Fugitive. And that was when I worked in the movie theater. Anything that came out in 93 was, I think 92 to 94, somewhere in there, but like 93, all those movies, Groundhog Day, not switching channels. What's the one with Pam Dauber? We had that one too. But Hard Target. Huh?
Problem Child? Wasn't she in that?
No, it's the one where, it's John Ritter and Pam Dauber. But anyway, that's a dumb thing to mention that we had there. We had a lot of other great things there. But The Fugitive, when I would finish up at night and I would change my clothes and everything, as I exited, we could stop and watch the rest of any movie we wanted to. And so I always popped into The Fugitive. I think I've said this on the show before. And it's like, it was always at the, I didn't kill my wife scene. I don't care. And, that's going to pull you into the rest of that movie quite a bit, but what a return to form The Fugitive is. That is just so Harrison Ford. And Patriot Games feels very Harrison Ford, but I think upon this rewatch, Paul, I feel like I watched Patriot Games brand new, because watching Harrison Ford come out of phase 3 where he did not want to play the action hero, and seeing how Jack Ryan is just a father. I mean, that's really what they just emphasized the entire time, and only sprung to action to save his family. So yeah.
And this is a franchise. And this is a franchise because Alec Baldwin played Jack Ryan in Hunt for October, but I don't think anyone thought of it as a franchise. I thought that was a movie. Oh, and now he's going to be in another movie with Harrison Ford as Jack Ryan. But by the time the second one comes around, it's a little bit of a franchise. But other than that, he's kind of not franchise guy anymore. He between Air Force One and The Fugitive and What's Coming, What Lies Beneath, and I mean, he goes into the other Sabrina Random Hearts phase, and he's kind of lets go of the franchises for a long while.
I love it. I texted you this because I just came upon when I was working on putting the knight part in the script, because I was like, oh, I didn't mention he got knighted, because that was very exciting. We were watching, like, oh my God, he's a knight, soon after drinking from the cup of Christ, alongside a knight. He's an actual knight now. But that phase 4 begins with Harrison Ford being knighted and ends with him the president of the United States, which is, I mean, that is, this is a great block right here. Yeah, I mean, notwithstanding Sabrina, which is, but we've always have one outlier in a phase that doesn't fully fit. But
well, yeah, that belongs in phase 3 because his name is Linus in Sabrina.
Rusty Sabich and Linus.
Yeah, and Henry. Not a lot of comments here, but nope, never getting old. Nope, not in the least. How dare you imply otherwise? That being
noise and not getting old. Yeah, that's going to stick around long after Patriot Games. Anytime anything is noise.
Yeah. Happy Mo Thursday.
Oh, that's wrong. Why did I post that?
Yesterday.
You know why? You know why? Because I forgot it was Mother's Day. I'm the worst son.
Aye,
And
aye, aye.
well, you know, I've been working a lot and I just couldn't even, but I was planning on calling my mom because it had been, so I was like, okay, Sunday, I get my everything done. I give mom a call or whatever. And then at 6:30 and Aliens is at the New Beverly. And I'm like, and I had tickets and I'm like, so I had like an hour to call, the various moms and apologize. You know, I don't know, but on my calendar, Mother's Day is actually celebrated a week after. So I traditionally will send flowers after Mother's Day. Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm on a different calendar. That's all. It's, you know, it's
You can still post this.
Mother.
Happy Mother's Day. Why didn't
Mother?
Mother, you did it.
Are you my mother?
I love
Happy
it.
birthday to Mothers everywhere.
Mothers everywhere. Yeah, thank you for picking
What
up on
else we
that.
got here? Roll up your sleeves, you bippy beatnik. Well, I don't do that.
Really, that was the bone of contention at the.
You seen these long arms? I mean,
yeah,
nothing. No long sleeve shirts fit me. Costumers hate me because they have to build. You can't pull for these albatross wings. So yeah, I always am pulling up my sleeves.
You're like, I'm the Ted Klusinski of Blockbuster. Cincinnati Reds fan, catch that reference?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Unabomber. I'm like, what the hell?
No, that's Ted Klusinski. Oh, I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, totally different. Right. Oh, this is a fun idea. I still want a fan edit combining the Fugitive Chicago Parade scene with Ferris Bueller Chicago Parade. That'd be fun.
I did that in a montage for the, you know, Justin did the Chicago movie bracket list where they had for 2 weeks when he was on his GN show, you would match up 2 Chicago movies and which is the better Chicago movie. And they had a whole bracket, you know, going all the way from like, yeah. And so to do that, I was like, oh, I would love to do the ultimate Chicago movie montage. In my dream, just like what he's saying there, this is why we're friends with all of us are friends, is I was like, yes, I've always wanted to see that combined. And so in that montage, I do cut back and forth, which is fun. But that should be its own. That's a very good montage. We'll do that. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Well, I wrote her. I go, you created this monster. I sent her the marquee from Aliens, and I was like, and you know, I felt really bad. I mean, I called her and everything like that. I was like, I'll call you tomorrow night for, you know, we'll talk longer and everything like that, and you know, send some Mother's Day stuff later. She understood. She's known me for 50 years, and she created this monster. But I was like, once I felt bad. But then as soon as I sat down and I'm watching Aliens, I'm like, not a regret in the world. Not a regret in the world. Sitting in a real theater watching Aliens again? Ooh, no.
Hey, put in the chat there what the Loft is. I don't know. Is it wherever you live's cool version of
I've heard Loft Cinema referenced. Yeah, Loft Cinema must be another repertory theater. I don't know where William lives. He will let us know, though.
Yes. Let me pull some other stuff that I've had sitting on my hard drive or phone for a while. Buddy of mine sent me this. I think that's fun. Just for that could be the new.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Ford Fiesta.
That's a great
logo.
Ford Fiesta logo. Oh my gosh, why has no one thought to do that before? That's great.
Yeah, I wish I knew the author, but my buddy Justin just saw that, sent it to me, which is him being a good friend. That's what you do.
Love that. That's awesome.
This is an invitation to one of the first screenings of Star Wars.
Wow.
You are invited to our only. Yeah.
Mike Nichols sent Revenge of the Jedi letterhead, a letter that written by Marquand to the crew, and revealed, and he said in the text too, that obviously they printed up so much Revenge of the Jedi letterhead. He's just finished a movie called Return of the Jedi that's being released, and the letterhead is thanks everyone for working on Revenge of the Jedi.
A local theater in Tucson. Oh, there you go. I was in Tucson a year and a half ago. I wish I knew it. Well, I was busy doing other stuff, Saguaro National Park and Colossal Cave, Tombstone, all that kind of stuff. So probably wouldn't have gone to the movies, but Tucson, a lot of cool stuff, including El Barraca. Is that the restaurant that's looks and feels like a submarine? Anyway, that place was really cool.
Barancana?
But you are invited to our only preview screening of Star Wars. Star Wars. Come see Star Wars. a live-action fantasy adventure filmed in England, Tunisia, and Guatemala to be released by 20th Century Fox. We welcome your comments. Sunday, May 1st, 1977, so within the month of release, 10 a.m. sharp. No one can be committed after the film starts. North Point Theater, San Francisco. Reserve your seats, call, blah, blah, blah. Wonder if we called that now, if we would get that.
Yeah, who's that number belong to now? And that would be the ultimate geek reference of like,
Hey.
yeah, I'm getting this phone number for the.
We want to see Star Wars. We're a pizza shop. Yeah, we want to see Star Wars.
I have several times gone to like the phone number database just to see if 326-3827 has opened up. It never is. Do you know what that is?
Remind me.
The audience knows. 326-3827 is the trash compactor number.
Okay.
Star
I knew
Wars.
it was a Star Wars number, but TK421 is all that came to mind.
Well, yeah, and those would become 1-point questions. By the way, like when that started, it was like I was so proud that I knew that one, and then like everybody knew that eventually. Yeah.
Hey, we're being sent trivia now. There are 2 Harrison Ford stars in the Walk of Fame, one for your favorite, one for classic film star. Do you know which one is which and which is closer to Carrie Fisher's star? I do know this because I moved to LA and I saw Harrison Ford star and I immediately went down and took pictures of it. Got all excited to find out it was the old silent film star Harrison Ford, or early years of film Harrison Ford. I haven't watched any of his movies. We're not doing a podcast about him, but that's in front of Musso and Frank restaurant on Hollywood Boulevard. Good news is I lived there when Harrison Ford got his star, so I went down and I watched him get it, and I watched Spielberg speak, and it was a pretty big deal, so that was really cool. And that is right there in the mix of everything. It's on Hollywood Boulevard near the Dolby and the Ovation and Grauman's Chinese. It's not in front of the Chinese, but it's in that block. Since I don't know where Carrie Fisher got her star, I can't answer the last question.
I don't know if I've seen Carrie Fisher's star. I'll show you a great photo of Harrison Ford's one rainy night. Find it.
Yeah, but
because my regular walking route is Hollywood Boulevard now.
Yeah, I was fooled, but not for long, and then thrilled because I got to watch the real Harrison get his star. So that was cool. You know, always a benefit to living here.
The Harrison J. Ford, the real J. Ford.
Yeah. Let's show one more thing here while we're. If you know where the answer to that last question, Garth, don't hesitate, because I don't know where Carrie's star was. I know she just got it on May the 4th this year, and Hamill was there, but I don't know.
We didn't get a star till this year.
Correct. Yeah, Billy Lord was there as well.
Where did they post who's getting a star and when? Because I've missed like 30 of them since I've moved here.
It's at the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. I know Michelle Yeoh's due soon. She was approved for one. Yeah, they give about 20 some every year, and then 200 usually gets submitted. All you got to have is money and something coming out usually.
Yeah.
This is fun too. Let me share this with everybody. A friend of mine sent it. It's script notes from Harrison Ford.
Oh, what?
On Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is kind of fun.
That's amazing.
Indy's a believer.
Indy is a believer.
Yeah.
It is Indy a believer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who knows? Oh my God, this is our favorite lines. Who knows? Lightning, power. Oh, lightning, fire, power, God.
Yeah, and now with that note, you can see the way he delivers it: lightning, fire, power, God, or something. He even threw in or something, to like say, just not necessarily say he's a believer. I mean, he's an expert in the occult. So, yeah, but that's pretty interesting.
Wow, because that's just to be able to see that line, which that is an obscure Indiana Jones line. Like that's the sort of line that. And it's happened before where you and I are having a conversation with a third party and they will say something and I will drop in a movie quote and you will respond to that movie quote and they won't have known that we just had that conversation, because you're just like, they say lightning, I go lightning, fire, and you go power, God, or something. Meanwhile, the other person we're talking to doesn't know that we just quoted a movie, but that's like one of those type of quotes,
And there's lines that are cut here at the bottom, which is fun. Well, there's one other thing that Hitler undoubtedly believes about the Ark. It's said that the Lost Ark will be, I can't tell because it's recovered at the time of the coming of the Dr. Jones. You've been very helpful. I hope we can call on you if we like. You don't need any of that shit. It just says, right. The Ark is invincible. That we have our movie.
Well, the old when Spielberg. This is a story he told when he first started. Obviously, we know the John Ford. We now know the John Ford story from the Fabelmans, but there was another director that he talked to, met a famous director, and it was his first day of shooting on something. And he goes, I'm about to be a director. Tomorrow's my first day. And he goes, what advice do you have to a young filmmaker? And he goes, wear comfortable shoes and never shoot anyone entering a doorway. And that's the end of that line. That scene right there is basically exiting the doorway. You're never going to use it. You're never going to use them saying, well, this has been very informative. Thank you very much. Let me get up out of my chair. No, you're going to cut to the next scene. I always thought that was funny, like never show anyone entering a doorway because you're just going to cut it out. Like you're going to cut to them. That's great.
The Rising of the True Messiah. That's it. I should have blown up the picture, but
by the way,
do that.
By the way, Paul, I want to do a segment on here called Add to Cart where I buy Indiana Jones action figures sometime.
Correct.
Because
you want Gallego on here for that, right?
Yeah, or I mean you and Gallego, yeah. We could because he's the one that kind of got me back into. Well, I got the Moon Knight figure, and then you got me Werner Herzog from Star Wars, which is amazing. And I'm getting a shelf. They're all off camera right now. And then I bought Crocmaster at the Comic-Con. And I think that and now they've got these amazing action figures of Indiana Jones after having the worst action figures our entire lives of Indiana Jones. Like they just did not compare. You got one because I loved Indiana Jones, but they were the worst. And now they're amazing. And did you know that there's a Marcus Brody figure?
Yep.
And he has the Bible and an apple. I'm buying that. I'm gonna go to Hasbro.
No, they got Brody, they got Belloc, right?
It's amazing.
And they got Short Round, Indy, and like 3 different versions of Indy from 2 different movies. Voodoo Indy.
Oh, and that's the cool thing too, because we've always talked about like we love Indiana Jones with the tie. That's kind of your rare look at Indiana Jones. And but they have the differentiation between leather jacket Indiana Jones and then Cairo Indiana Jones with just the shirt and it's all hanging out and everything. I'm like, that's probably my favorite Indiana Jones look. It's not the leather jacket as much as
I don't care for the tie. He had that tie the whole Last Crusade. I'm like, it's like so buttoned up. I don't care for it. I like the loose look. It doesn't matter really, but in the end,
it's a fun variation. But of course, the Man of Action one more. We like the. But the Cairo one, running around the streets of Cairo, I love that look for the action figure. It's so good.
But then I noticed he's got the tie again. Of course, there are no shots of it. By the way, there is a brand new 1 minute, 10-second clip from the big chase scene that involves those little scooters as they're being chased by a car. Through the streets of wherever they are. That's out there, and I watched it, but that's got to be it. Typical indie banter while they're having a big action sequence.
I saw the new trailer in the theater. I saw it in the wild. I didn't watch it on the internet.
I haven't seen the new one. I only saw that teaser in the big screen. That's cool.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. So, saw the new one. It's just it's out of control. And I saw it before Return of the Jedi. I'm like, well, now I'm ready to watch Return of the Jedi. I tell you what.
Why didn't I? Oh, I saw Jedi in the theater, but I should.
They
the one with
before that,
the Stones, right? With Sympathy for the Devil and all that, right? The new one.
Yeah, the new one with where he's like they show him on the train and yeah. Oh gosh, it's incredible times.
I want to share one more thing here. This has nothing to do with anything except I found it fascinating. Do you know who A.O. Scott is?
I do. That's a very famous reviewer.
He quit. And here's why. I've been swarmed on Twitter by angry devotees of Marvel and DC, and more recently Top Gun, Maverick, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's more that the behavior of these social media hordes represents an anti-democratic, anti-intellectual mindset that is harmful to the cause of art and antithetical to the spirit of movies. Fan culture is rooted in conformity, obedience, group identity, and mob behavior, and its rise mirrors and models the spread of intolerant, authoritarian, aggressive tendencies in our politics and our communal life.
I agree with A.O. Scott because movie criticism has been completely corrupted by people who don't give a shit about movies, but like to see people beat each other up. You know? It's weird. And it's like, I mean, look, for you and I, Paul, back to the drawing board. I had to meet people in the wild who liked movies. I don't need to go meet them online. I don't need extra movie people. I got plenty of people to talk about movies with. So
Yeah.
I don't, I see all the dumb opinions on there and I'm like, yeah, it's dumb. Mankind was never meant to know what everybody thought about everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know who that is. And when I dare put an opinion on Twitter or whatever, and, I defended James Gunn or something because James Gunn's awesome.
Totally.
Yeah. And he's just undeniably great, particularly for people who enjoy movies and nerd stuff. And I don't know who this guy who doesn't like James Gunn is, or doesn't like that James Gunn's wife was cast in Peacemaker. And so I start catching all this bullshit around. I just delete my tweet. I'm like, I ain't responding to you because I don't know who you are. I wasn't talking to you.
Right.
I'm like, what am I going to do? Take part of my day to go, well, actually, she had a career before James Gunn. Meanwhile, that guy had to look up that was even his wife. He was sitting there watching Peacemaker and going, oh, that's a good show. Wait a second. What? You have to go do research to be upset.
Now go ahead and be retroactively pissed that he cast his brother in Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, what are we doing?
Well, it's a Snyder fan. Well, Snyder's producer is his wife. What do you thought? I mean, but she, whatever.
No, I mean, I was just on a
Dan Scott's right.
Yeah, I was just on Dave Harris's podcast. He's a Schmoed Out fan who talks movies and brought me on and we talked about it. And he asked me about everything going on and what, you like most. And I said, man, talking movies is tough online because of that very thing A.L. Scott's talking about, the mob mentality. Yeah. But I also realized that outside of, Twitter and Instagram posts just being totally visible, most of the time I talk to a reflecting board of my similar interests. So, and with that, it's not brutal, but it still is disheartening. All the things he's talking about. Yes, I'm with you and agreeing with him.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, again, for a younger generation than us, the way they found other people that were interested in movies was the internet. You and I did it the natural way. You wrote a sketch that referenced an obscure Indiana Jones thing. I was the only person to laugh in the crowd. And so we met afterwards and said, hey, do you like Harrison Ford? Yes, I do. Let's be friends and go to movies and talk about movies. But I feel bad for other people who have really just started talking about movies with people, like Trevor, Trevor Madsen. Like this has been, is the internet and stuff. I mean, that's just got to be so heartbreaking that you have to talk to everybody instead of just the people you want to talk to, and people are in there sabotaging it. And it's the forces that turned sports into politics, or politics into sports, and then turned movies into politics, and I'm like, some people make money doing this, I guess, or whatever, or it helps them feel like there's a lot of imposters who just don't like movies. They just like talking about and pretending that they like movies. And that's all over the place on Twitter. That's what, and again, I don't need to talk to anybody there. I'll call Ken Knapsack and talk about Star Wars. I'll go over to your house and want to talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't need this guy giving me some guff because I was like, I don't know, Zack Snyder's wife is also, related to him or whatever, whatever point I made that is now deleted because who gives a shit?
Yeah, that's the thing. I've whittled down the people in my social media circles to just people I want to hear from.
Yeah.
And
I'm well curated, man. I don't see any bullshit. I see just the people I like talking about movies, and every once in a while other things like sort of filter in. But no, I'm very well curated.
My late wife Karen, and fellow movie guy, was whittled her whole social media down to just stories about dogs and Bill Murray. Like if we weren't talking about that, you kind of just got deleted.
And talk about searching for joy. Like that's how you do it, right?
Yeah. Well, everything everybody asks me about, I always say it's what you make of it. Living in LA, what they have earthquakes and gangs and just LA is what you make of it. I've never seen drugs in my life. Once I saw cocaine at a party, just because the people I hang with aren't filthy drug nuts who like do all sorts of dopey shit. It's all the circle. You can create your own world of happiness in any forum where you live, the things you like, the places you go, the food you enjoy, the music you listen to. It's all what you make of it.
And that's why once a week we do a show where we only talk about Harrison Ford. It seems like an absurd proposition, but I'm loving the hell out of this, and that's all. And I love talking about Harrison Ford. We have an excuse once a week to sit and talk about Harrison Ford. We got people here making Harrison Ford references, in our
I mean,
chat.
I'll hear not bad. I'll hear different opinions, that I think are bad, because I like or don't like things differently than another person, and then I'm done with it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and then I'm done with it.
Like that clip I played. Let me just wrap it up with this thought. That clip I played from Pulp Fiction is great. Where is it? I'm gonna find it.
Come on, let's get into character.
That line follows a whole rant by Travolta. He's like, "Look, they're a very sensual thing. Foot massages. You get in there and you do this and that, and it's a very. And he should have known better when he did that to Marcellus's wife because everything was going to happen." And Jackson goes, "Interesting point. Let's get into character." Start a huge argument. I even take it from Sam Jackson. There you go. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to show you this. What do you got there?
Roger Ebert's Video Companion. Hundreds of well thought out and written takes on movies. Do I agree with all of them? No. Are they an interesting read? Yes. And then am I done? Yes. Social media allows you to keep the conversation going when you shouldn't.
Yeah, that's true. And that's all. I also see people on there talking, having these whole back and forth, and they're trying to convince some person they don't know, who's just there to start trouble.
Yeah.
And what happened to all the old concepts of like starting trouble? Like, remember when you would get accused of that, starting trouble, or other people were like, "You're starting trouble." That's all Twitter is, starting trouble. Like, people on there are like, "No, I don't believe this. I'm just coming here to call you a jerk off." And then you got to go, "Now wait a second, I'm not a jerk off, and allow me to link this and this and this." And I'm like, you don't even know that guy. Like, who cares? Move on. So very strange.
Yeah. You were showing a visual there. What was that?
Oh no, I just was. I was trying to see if this would work actually for when we do like a add to cart thing here, because it takes over the whole screen. I don't know how to fix that part, but look at that.
Not here. That's the weird part. Not what I can see.
Okay,
we're over on the left, and then.
Yeah. Oh, but I mean, like all the. Well, okay. I guess I was just looking for mostly the pictures. Yeah. No, that looks pretty good. So, I mean, can you believe they made
Marcus
a figure? Yeah, Marcus and Belloc. I mean, can you believe they made an action figure about these guys?
Although they gave him a gun. Like Belloc has a gun like once,
Yeah, but
he's got this gun.
But the weird thing was the old Indiana Jones action figures. Belloc was and they have the robed one here too. But you talk about, he has, at least he doesn't not hold a gun the whole time. But yeah, you're right. He just grabs the gun to when he's going to blow up the Ark, Renee. Right? He just uses that to make all the Nazis get away. He doesn't even fire it. I don't think, does he?
Hello.
We're gonna blow up the Ark, Renee. That's the best scene.
No, he never fires it. It's true. Yeah, he
never fires. That is
back, and yeah.
So that's even better. And I mean, a Brody action figure to begin with is like just, again, we had the worst. Look at that.
Oh wow!
Add to cart. Add to cart. Right. All right. Here now. Let's. Now here we go. Look at this mother scratcher right here. Now that's an Indiana Jones. Oh, that's the best. Come on. I mean, because this is just such an iconic look. That whole Cairo thing just thrills me to no end. I love the iconic leather jacket, but the look that I associate with so many things I love about Indiana Jones is in these scenes here. Look at that. He comes with a monkey.
What an adorable creature.
What an adorable creature. He's got your looks.
Jesus, though, $34. Wow. Okay.
I know. But Paul,
that's changed too since I last collected.
Oh yeah, that's changed too. Well, these are, I think these are going up. Okay, now here's your $25. Now talk about you never thought I was going to see this as an action figure. Come on. I mean, add to cart.
Olaram, Sudaram.
Oh, I mean, that's awesome. I love it. And he comes with the look at that. He comes with the stick, He comes with Shankara stones, which is pretty awesome.
Oh, cool.
Now, here's the thing, Paul. Do you know enough about action figures that the figures now, Oh, he's got the little.
No.
Okay. No. So what they do now is, so see on the back of on the side of the cover here, build an artifact. So what they do now is they'll release a series and you have to get all of them in order to build that. So something comes with each thing. But which now I'm not going to buy every one of these so I can
the
build
jaw, the head. Okay, yeah.
Right. So I'm not going to get all of these so I can build that. However, this one comes with the Shankara stones, which is, I'll just take that as good, So yeah, so the question is, so I'm definitely getting Belloc and Brody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they made them. They went to all the trouble of making them. Now, of course, I'm going to get an Indiana Jones classic, right?
Yeah.
And look how well made it is. I mean, the ones when I was a kid were just such junk. Look at action figures now. Now, here's the question, Paul. There are two classic Indiana Jones. One that comes with this stand, and you get to pay a little extra for it. Look at how they pose them. That is so good. So you got to pay a little extra for that one. And then there's another one called the Temple Escape. Do I see the Temple Escape here? We'll come back to Belloc there. Oh, yeah. Okay, so wait. This one's cheaper. It doesn't have the stand, but it does have the idol. I think I'm going to get this one just to save $10 to spend on the $55 Marcus and Brody and
55 for Marcus and Belloc?
Yeah, it's a 2-pack.
Together? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
now here's the other one. Ordinarily, you go, well, I don't really need the tote. But as a kid, I only had 2 figures in the original selection, which is Tote and Indiana Jones. And so I feel out of tradition, I might have to get Tote. Would you get Tote? Look at that. They even got the detail in there. So I don't know. Maybe add to cart, but maybe I could just live with the one I had as a kid, and that's fun. And I don't need to spend $25 on a new Tote.
Major.
Let's go back.
Major move.
Major Tote.
Major Tote. Okay, so then we got the Temple Escape, which is a little more expensive. I don't think I'm going to do that. Now look at this. Now, of course, I got to get the classic Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom, man. Right? Look at that.
Yeah.
And look at that with the shirt off and the one sleeve. They never did an action figure with the one sleeve Indiana Jones. Look at how they pose him. Prepare to meet Kali in hell. Oh, and it comes with the lower jawbone of the.
And you're on your way to the making the thing. Yeah.
And I'm on my way. I love the poses here. Look how iconic all these moments are. Isn't that great? And him running after them with the, only to be pursued by the other thuggies and stuff. It's just
drop the stones, Dr. Jones. They will be
found.
You won't.
What's the actor's name?
That's not Roshan Seth. Amish Puri.
Yeah, Amrish. I always say Amish.
Amish Puri.
I remember it because
his name is
Witness,
Amish.
Though. Well, that's why I remember it though because of Witness. Now I'm like, oh, I'm Amrish.
Roshan Seth was the head of Pankot Palace.
Oh yes. I love his character, especially this last time we watched it. So short round, I'm getting right. Add to cart.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Hey, did you just see him meeting Joe Biden?
I did. That was great.
Oh, God.
Yeah, infectious energy, right?
Oh,
yeah, they showed.
God.
That was all part of a screening of American Born Chinese, the new Disney Plus series with him and Michelle Yeoh. They screened it at the White House, so that comes out later this month.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, he is something special. And by the way, we were talking about some negative forces in pop culture and Twitter and whatnot. Every time I see Ke Kwan, whether he's winning an Oscar or meeting Joe Biden or being an amazing person in general, and I'm just like, we are in the right timeline and the forces of good will win. Like that is proof we're in the right timeline. And you guys go do your dumb, calling people dickheads on Twitter all you want. You're just not going to win. The positivity is going to win. Here's a question. Do I get the new one? Look at that. That's the Dial of Destiny Ford.
Oh, yeah.
Is
that? Yeah, he kind of looks like he does in Crystal Skull there, too, of course. Just older.
He does look a little. They did not do a Crystal Skull specific one. I guess that's a middle finger.
That's fine.
There's no mutt, but there is. And here's the question here. Actually, let me come back to that because here's a big question here. Oh, okay. Here's the big questionable ones. So we mentioned the tie. Add to cart. I don't know. It's pretty cool. They did it. Comes with the torch.
Oh, that tie. Yeah. Oh, I see. That tie is the tie you're talking about.
Yeah. I think they have the other
tie.
one.
I was
too.
talking about a general brown tie. It's so buttoned up while he's doing
right.
action.
Motorcycle chase tie. Right.
Yeah. That's the one.
But I think this one's. I might have to add to cart. I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's cool that they did it. Especially again the paucity of Indiana Jones figures and the poor. Oh, because he didn't take my advice. Do you get a
Donovan?
Donovan. Ooh, he's got two faces. Yeah. Do you get a Donovan? I mean, it's so cool they made a Donovan. I mean, it's not an action figure. The problem with Indiana Jones was the action figures weren't like Star Wars. It would be like, this is not an action figure. Walter Donovan.
I don't have any. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I have
mean, it's
one.
just like,
Wait, I do have one. Someone bought it for me when Crystal Skull came out. It was a throwback to Raiders. But
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the ones like you got one of these, right?
I got 2 Darth Vaders full of Star Wars figures, but
yeah, that's cool.
No.
I'm
that's
gonna be bringing mine.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got this one from when I was a kid. I don't know if I need to buy a retro because any of that money comes out of the budget for these masterful things. Okay, so we got Belloc here, but I think once I got white suit Belloc, I'm good, right?
I think so.
I mean,
but here's
cool
2 suggestions from Garth. Get Short Round because he's an Oscar winner.
Right.
Get the German mechanic and toss him into a fan. And Roach Smythe wants a love set. Yeah, where he punches Jack Lemmon.
Oh, we might have to do some custom figures, Paul. I did have the idea of doing a Harrison Ford shelf, like. Do you know the story in Rise of Skywalker? The shelf behind John Williams is everything up there. It was a supplemental on the DVD, but everything up there represents one of his scores. Do you know that whole thing? Do you know this?
I don't.
Oh, it's a YouTube video. We'll talk about it on the show sometime. So everything up on that shelf, like there's 3 little barrels that represent Jaws. There's, I think there's like the Shankar stones are stuck in there in some sort of mini form or something. But I thought, it'd be cool to make a Harrison Ford shelf, but it would be so many random things. And what kicked it off is I want to get a orange Camaro and paint the like from Heroes, the Camaro he drives would be a great thing to have on like your complete Indiana Jones shelf. All right, Sala, add to cart. I love Sala, but
add Sala.
The other figures,
absolutely.
Okay, we're going. Oh, look at that! You got a shovel. The finest diggers in Cairo. Well, I'm already doing the voice. I got it.
Comes with shovel.
Comes with shovel. Oh, and this set doesn't do the Shankara stones. This is the older set. So I think this is available. If I order this one, I'll get it in like a week. The others will come as they're released. This one has the arc. If I get all of these figures, I can put together an arc. So he's got the top and bottom of the arc comes with Sala. So let's see how close I would be to getting all of these, because of course, look at the wonderful Marion they put together here. Look at that. That is
Cairo Marion, the hottest Marion.
Cairo Marion. I mean, so, when I was a kid, it was the Marion in the dress, from the Well of Souls. This is the real Marion here. So I think that's an add to cart, don't you think?
Have we said no yet? Oh, I think maybe that the Belloc, ceremonial Belloc is it?
Right, ceremonial Belloc is out.
We don't know anything about yet, but
I don't know if I get Helena. I don't have any nostalgia for it yet. Sure, she comes with the face of the Shankar Stone thing, but yeah. So I don't think I had to cart yet for her. Although I love the idea of having her and Marion, and I guess they didn't make Allison Duty.
Yeah.
Okay, so Temple's. So I think that's all. Oh, that's all of them except for one. There is an exclusive I found out. Hold on a second. I'm going to show you one more thing, and then we're gonna finish this up here. Okay, and we got Tote. We got the Temple Escape. Okay, we'll figure that out. Let me escape out of this here real quick, and I'm going to go find one more thing to show you. They're digging in the wrong place. I am the monarch of the sea.
While you're looking for whatever you're looking for, let me play something.
Fill time.
Because you were talking about positivity and negativity in the movies. This is awesome. After Goonies wrapped, Richard Donner needed a vacation after working with the kids for a year. And so he went to Hawaii. As a prank, Spielberg flew the entire cast to surprise Donner at his house. And, you'd think, this is I'm trying to get away from the kids. Of course, no, that's not how it goes down. Let's see.
Hi, Dad. How you doing? Dick, I'm watching this movie. Hey, Dick.
Wow. Oh my God.
Oh my.
Oh my God.
I don't believe it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the hell are you doing here? Oh my God.
They're all wearing Goonies Gone Hawaiian shirts. Listen to the cacophony of Goonies.
Oh my God. Hey, Dick, we're getting their sequels in this movie. There's going to be right down here. Wait, I hear something.
It's chaos, right?
What a cacophony. That's amazing.
So there's
Oh,
your
wow.
good. There's your feeling good for the day.
Oh my gosh. I'm 1,000,000% doing that, Garth. Yes. Because I'm going to do photos. I'm going to buy 10 of these figures. And yeah. What do we got for Walter? Because he didn't take my advice.
You chose wisely.
He should. He should.
All right, give us
What's
a thing
the
to go out on. Then I got to drive my
right,
girlfriend
all
to
right.
the bike store.
Right. Okay. And the last one, which I realized, I was like, when I went and looked and was trying to figure out what I wanted, I was like, isn't there one missing? Turns out it's a Target exclusive. Here is one add to cart before any others.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
baby.
you go.
Right. That's a Target exclusive. So that might be down the street right now. What is it?
Yeah, Garth posted that comment a little while ago.
Did he? The white tuxedo?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. He's got the flaming skewers. How great are toys now, Paul? This is why I'm going to spend $25 on this figure. How great are toys? He's got the flaming thing. He's got the thing. Bob, what else has he got? What other action? What other action devices he's got? Oh my gosh, he's got the vial. He's got the vial. He's got the diamond. He's got Nurhachi. Oh, add to
Nurhachi's a really small guy.
but he's articulated in 3 places. So, yeah, that's the one. All right, that's it. That's enough show. All right, we did a little add to cart. I'm ordering those, and we're going to have some Indiana Jones action figures. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it because I took about 15 years off of buying action figures because I once bought too many. And so I don't feel bad about this at all.
I'll show you one last thing. Okay, now that we're...
So says Crocmaster. It's all his fault. He's already got a whip. You know. Crocmaster, should I get more action figures?
As I may have commented before, my friend Sean Blodgett and I are doing a show called Countdown to 5. We're doing one episode about each Indiana Jones movie leading up to Dial of Destiny, and we'll do one show after that. So it's a quick 6-episode show. We did a preview show of what we're going to do, one for each movie, and then one for the 5th movie. And there's what is that thing called? The Wilro Hood's bucket?
Oh yeah, this is a Camtono. Camtono. Yes. Werner, should I buy more action figures? I think you should, but only if it brings you joy.
If it does not bring you joy, don't partake in such frivolities.
Oh, it's edible. Whatever's in there, delicious for the croc. Okay. See, I'm playing with toys again. It's my natural place in the world to play with toys and whatnot. So Indiana Jones, here they come.
I just want to show you these. So anyway, as Sean and I were recording the latest episodes of Countdown to 5, I don't throw crap away now that I have a garage. So I have these posters from when they came out in the mid 80s, and I put them up. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
It's at a weird angle.
That's a great one.
A great
oh my
poster,
God, you should
right?
frame that.
Yeah. This one also from the same film. Pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Those are great posters. Oh my God, that white tuxedo poster. Yeah, that's awesome. Frame
that's
that. Frame the
cool.
hell out of that.
That's total Bogart.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
which
that's
somebody said. He played Bogart, of course, in Sabrina. So which is pretty cool. The Bogart role. But all right, that's it.
That's it. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this one poster to upload. I found a really great one on eBay. Well, we should do a segment on eBay because oh, never mind. It's a PNG. Okay, we'll do it some other time. But I went down eBay and I started screen capping this. I do a lot of Harrison Ford searches, and there's a lot of great posters that we've never seen that are insane. And one woman with no explanation painted a mosquito coast poster the size of this. It's like 10 feet tall, and it's got this woman standing in front of it, and she painted it, and it's like, why did she choose the mosquito coast poster? But it is a giant Allie Fox face, that's the real poster, and it towers over her by like 5 feet.
Does it look good?
It actually kind of does, and I'm like, it's like $300 or something. But,
all right, compile all those, and we'll do another add to cart that's fully organized, and we'll get Andres in here. We'll do a whole thing.
Okay.
We'll do a whole thing. And then, but at the end of the segment, we each have to walk away with something.
Okay. All right.
I'll even buy something, and then you and Andres can go nuts.
Okay. All right. Have a good day.
Back next week with The Fugitive. Our guest is going to be Brian Crew. I don't think he can appear on the stream, so we'll record with him sometime, play a clips, do our recap and the whole deal. But we're on to The Fugitive, which to me is the best Ford movie outside of the franchises.
Yeah, really. And man, someday it's to take a hell of a lot to organize. But when we were in Chicago, everybody we knew somebody that had worked on The Fugitive. I would love to find some people that just did random stuff on The Fugitive because everybody had stories and stuff. It was really cool.
And you got Neil Flynn, too.
And Neil Flynn,
who had a few lines and got killed by the one-armed man. So that's exciting.
Very exciting.
All right, that's it. We'll be back next week.
Bye.
1, 2, 3.
急ごう。待ってよ、ハリソン。おフレーダー。キリンラガー。Come on。この味がビール。切れ味醍醐味。キリンラガービール。You know nuts.